Hey, how'd you go at tennis?
Yeah, great. Hit the ball well. But look at these shoes. I'm wearing through again. This is a problem I've been fighting for years. Toe drag totally destroys my shoes. But I've found a do-it-yourself repair that lasts, and I'll show you how to do it right now. So, toe draggers know the pain. You guys know how many pairs of tennis shoes we rip through. I play probably 3 to 4 times a week, and at one stage I was going through a pair of tennis shoes every 6 to 8 weeks. The issue is only being worn in one spot or worn down in one spot, and right shoe, toe drag on serve, toe drag on forehand. Sure, I could adjust my technique, but I've been playing for many, many years. It's not as easy as what it sounds. Wear here on every single tennis shoe. But then I started thinking, there has to be a solution. I searched on the internet, I searched everywhere, I searched forums, could not find anything. And blowing through hundreds of dollars each time I get a pair of shoes, like a good pair of tennis shoes, Wilson Pro Rush, ASICS Gel Resolution, K-Swiss Ultra Shot. We're talking $150, $200 a pair of shoes. So there had to be a solution, and I did some research and I found it. This is Dutroy, rubber abrasive resistant sheet available on Amazon. I bought this sheet and you can see I've got, I don't know, I've probably done 10 repairs out of it so far. It lasts for a long time. It's readily available on Amazon. I bought this for $16 Australian. I got the 2.2 millimeter sheet. It has a good mixture of abrasion resistance and flexibility. This, combined with Shoe Goo, is the solution. We have the textured side out for grip. It's very simple and it's very effective. You can use the patch in two ways, either as a corrective, as we'll do on this pair of ASICS, to repair worn areas, or as a preventative, which we will apply on this pair of Wilson Pro Rush, to prevent that wear from taking place in the first place, and to prevent that sole from degrading with toe wear. It extends the lifespan of your shoes considerably. On this pair of gel ASICS Resolution, I've had this patch of the Dutroy for approximately 15 to 16 playing hours. That's on hard court, and you can see it's still got plenty of wear left on it, starting to kind of feather in right at the edge of the shoe here. But yeah, I reckon I'll still probably get another 3 to 4 hours out of this patch. For this pair of K-Swiss Ultra Shot, you can see I've got a slightly different patch profile, a bit more elongated, just because of the way that the shoe has worn. This patch has been on for approximately 10 to 12 playing hours. You can see the grip is still really intact, and there's no signs of lifting or peeling or feathering at the edges of the shoe. So toe drag differs for everyone. Some people may have more of a drag right on the point of their shoe. For me, it's usually this area that I'm getting the wear in. And so what we're going to do is I've pre-made a patch that I've used on other shoes, and I've cut it out. It's approximately, let's do a quick measurement of this. It's approximately 8 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide, and shaped pretty much in a perfect oval shape. And what we're going to do is simply trace it out onto the Dutroy sheet and cut it out. It's actually a really windy day here today, so I'm going to have to hold onto this bit of paper pretty tightly so it doesn't fly away. And I'm going to try and maximize the sheet use, and that looks about right, and just do a bit of a trace. Now you guys do this, might take a little bit of trial and error to get your pattern right. I suggest you do the paper cutout method and give it a whirl. I was lucky first time I tried this, it got it right, but it might take a couple of iterations, I'm not entirely sure. Just a quick cut around. Try not to leave any sharp edges. Sheet's really easy to cut. I'm just using a pair of kitchen scissors here. And the good thing with the 2.2 millimeter sheet is it's still quite flexible. The preparation is key. What we'll do in a sec is we'll give this a good wipe down with Metho. We'll give it a bit of a scuff up with 120 grit sandpaper. And then we'll give it another wipe down with the Metho. If you don't have Metho, you can use a bit of thinners or you can use acetone. So that's going to be our patch. We're going to apply it to this area of the shoe and wrap it around. Okay, so let's get an old rag. The Deutero clean if you're worried about the chemicals. Getting on your hands, wear a pair of nitrile gloves. I probably should be doing that, but I have no real negative effect of Metho. Going to give that area that the patch is going to go on a good clean. Let it dry for approximately 60 seconds. All right, so our 60 seconds is up. Using 120 grit sandpaper. It's pretty crap stuff, but still does the job. All we're doing is scuffing up the surface to increase our adhesion, particularly at the edges of the patch. Doesn't need much, just a little bit of a rub over. Same on the shoe. Okay, going to give it another real quick clean with Metho. Let's get some of that grit off. Going to let that dry for 60 seconds, then we're ready for our shoe goo application. Okay, guys, we've got our shoe goo. I bought this on special on Amazon for $9.90 Australian. Very cost effective. I've got a bunch of patches out of this already. Very, very good. I end up getting 2 bottles of this. So for the repair, $15 or $16 for the Deutero, $10 for the shoe goo. This stuff is amazing, has amazing adhesion. And we're going to use a little bit of electrical tape to actually hold the patch on. We're going to contour it around the edge. And this is where the shoe goo is really doing its work when we're bringing that patch around the edge. So let's get into it. Try not to get any on our hands. Probably is a good idea to wear nitrile gloves here. All right, so I've been quite generous in the application of the shoe goo. A little bit on my hands there. It'll come off a bit later. And now we're going to bang it onto the patch. Going to cover that patched area entirely, or that worn area entirely, sorry. And we're going to wrap it up the edge of the shoe. Now, one thing that I don't love is where you have a white-soled shoe. The black patch can look a little bit weird, but you really have to be looking out for it to actually see that it's been patched at all. I'm just going to put a little bit more onto this edge because I feel like I didn't quite get enough there. And you see that's kind of the coverage we got, and we're going to wrap it and start bending it up around the side of the shoe with the electrical tape. And what we'll do at the end, after we unwrap this, after 24 hours, so we're going to leave it on for 24 hours, is we'll go around to each section of the edge and apply a little bit more shoe goo around the perimeter to feather that edge in. Now, comfort-wise, this actually, I thought it would be like having like a bit of stick under your shoe or something like that. But because you already lost the material on the shoe, it's actually really comfortable. Like I didn't know, and because it's very flexible, this stuff, flexible but abrasion resistant, I didn't notice any discomfort in my shoes at all in wearing this, which, to be honest, surprised me. I thought one of the negatives of this approach would be that it would feel like you've got, you know, like a rock under your shoe, or your shoe would just feel weird. that's that. One shoe done. We're going to let it cure for 24 hours. And like I said, we're going to come back. We're going to take the tape off. Tape comes off pretty easily. And we're just going to feather a bit more shoe goo in just around the perimeter of the shoe. This pair of Wilson Pro Rush, we're going to do a preventative patch on these. So we're going to use the same profile. We're just going to do exactly the same process. Clean it off with a bit of, we're going to do a bit of sanding, clean off with a bit of metho. Actually going to use the same patch profile. I found that profile works pretty good for me, but you guys figure your own out. Okay, guys, 2 pairs of shoes repaired. Like I said, I'll take the tape off tomorrow. Approximately 24 hours, the glue will be set, and I'll just feather around the edge with a bit of excess, with a bit of shoe goo, just around the edge, and it actually smooths itself quite nicely. Let it set like this, and it will actually follow the contour of your shoe quite nicely. It won't look messy. It actually looks pretty good. Particularly with dark sole shoes. Even with white sole shoes, it doesn't matter because who's looking at the bottom of your shoe? Okay, here we are. 24 hours later, gonna unwrap the shoes. Let's have a bit of a look. One of the cool things that I haven't mentioned so far is you can actually repeat this process as many times as you want. Once the patch wears down, you can just have another crack at it. Just do it again, trim it off with like a Stanley knife or even a sharp kitchen knife. We'll be able to get underneath it and repeat the process. And that is one of the gifts that keeps on giving with this shoe patch. Okay, it looks pretty good. That shoe goo is strong stuff. Okay, one down. A bit of a look at that. Okay, unwrap this other one. Both look like they've got really good adhesion around the edge. I'll just get a couple of close-up shots here so you can see. You can see really good adhesion all around. There's no points lifting up. That's exactly what we're after. What we'll do now is we'll just get a bit of shoe goo and just feather around the edge of the patch, and then we'll be done. Okay, just going to feather around the patch with the shoe goo, then we're done. There we have it, guys. So it just needs to cure, probably for another 24 hours before I take him out for a run on the court. In terms of how I'd rate this patch, wear resistance, I'd say 9 out of 10. I did try some other compounds prior. They were pretty ordinary. This Deutroid is excellent in terms of wear resistance. There is also a 3.5 millimeter sheet. I haven't tried it. I've stuck with a 2.2. It does me fine. If you're a crazy toe dragger and want the ultimate, I guess you would go for the 3.5, but you might feel it a little bit more under your actual shoe while playing. So wear resistance, 9 out of 10. Edge adhesion, 10 out of 10. Shoe goo is fantastic. Flexibility, 10 out of 10 with the 2.2 millimeter sheet. Comfort, probably 8 out of 10. I expected it to be a little bit more uncomfortable. Super comfortable, like really comfortable. Grip, just that you can't tell any difference between the Deutroid in terms of grip and the actual virgin material of the sole. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Visual look, don't know. Like on dark sole shoes, it looks, I don't know, I give it a 9 out of 10. I guess on light soled shoes like this Pro Rush 4, I don't know, 5 out of 10. It's really, really subjective. Glue Bond, 10 out of 10. The shoe goo is amazing. Install complexity, super simple. You've seen it.
It's like real simple. The hardest part is not getting the shoe goo on your hands, but even if you do, you can just rub it off with a bit of metho. I'd probably say 8 out of 10. Play confidence, notice no difference. Like I said, I expect it to be a little bit clunky. Expect a different type of grip on the actual Dutroy. I'd give it 10 out of 10. Same as like a normal shoe. Overall satisfaction, 10 out of 10. Cost effectiveness, $15. I reckon you'd get 30 patches out of this $15 sheet. So that works out at around about 50 cents. The shoe goo, $10, probably get 30 patches out of it as well. So $25 for 30 patches, under $1 per patch. And you're going to get probably between 15 to 20 hours worth of play out of each patch. It's pretty damn good. You're going to wear your inners out rather than the actual outer sole. Which is good. That's what I want. I didn't want to just be buying shoes and have brand new sort of inners. They should be perfect condition and have like a hole on in the bottom of them. So okay, guys, this works. The Dutroy is my final product choice. It's really good. Like I said, I tried another couple of things. It's really good. It holds up and does exactly what you want it to do. So guys, if you're a toe dragger, this DIY patch can save you hundreds of dollars in shoes. It takes as little as 4 or 5 minutes per set. Thanks for watching. I hope it keeps your shoes alive a little bit longer. Cheers, guys. Thanks.